Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Visual Effects Artists React. This is going to be a special episode, not only because we're joined by Clint and Jones on the couch.
Hey, what's up guys?
But because we're going to be focusing on photorealism and all the ways in which your eye has been tricked by visual effects artists like us. This clip has been on Joe Rogan 3 times.
It looks so realistic.
We got Benjamin Button.
What? That looks so good.
Yeah, that looks perfect.
We got Bosstown dynamics.
It's just funny because like when you were making this, we didn't expect people to think it was real.
And we are looking at House of the Dragon.
Anyone riding a dragon always looks funny to me.
Yeah, I know. And this one, yeah, this was like probably the worst sequence from the show, I think.
A Captain Disillusion video just came out recently.
Oh, with the soccer kick?
And yeah, and he laments the fact that no one makes hoax videos anymore. Perhaps the last big viral video that wasn't intended to be a hoax video, but kind of became that.
Oh man.
Was Bosstown Dynamics.
Oh boy.
True. I think what's crazy, Clint, is that you not only played the robot in this video, but you also modeled and rendered it too.
The photorealism of that video fools people over and over and over and over again.
A robot video the other day of robots shooting at targets.
I think that's fake. Isn't that one fake? Because there's a series of guys that do these amazing CGI things, and I think that's one of the things they did.
And why is it that this video that you basically rendered in Cinema 4D on your computer,
I literally rendered it in Cinema 4D on my computer, yeah.
why is it that that video beats out Hollywood films at photorealism?
It's just funny because like when you were making this, we didn't expect people to think it was real. And like all I can see are the issues with it. And we're thinking like, oh, I gotta fix this. Oh, I gotta fix that. Like, oh, it's clipping through the floor. The feet slip though, but the feet slip. Obviously it's fake. See, frame cut, obviously it's fake. Like obviously, like if you look at my shadow, wait, it's actually the robot shadow.
Yeah, that's the robot shadow. You are getting shadow overlap.
Shadows.
You are getting shadow
yes,
overlap. Yeah.
obviously fake.
You have glaring flaws on screen, shadows overlapping, missing frames, contact shadows, and yet everybody thinks this is real. I have a quote, okay? We got an email 2 days ago.
I've seen this, I love this so much.
My professor just showed us the Bosstown Dynamics video explaining it as a tech demonstration. He then proceeded to lecture us on AI using your video as the foundation for his arguments. Ah, see, now they are trying to confuse it, but they cannot. Ah, see the capabilities, it has to adapt. We made it over 3/4 of the way through before he realized. He ran to the computer, hastily shutting it down before resuming the lecture.
Was it the box of bees that got him? Was that when he was like, wait a minute?
From a visual effects point of view.
Okay, visual effects, yes.
Why is this real looking? How did you get this to look better than Marvel films?
For me, the difference with Marvel is like they're doing everything CG. It's like everything CG except the actor's head. In the action scenes, in the big VFX scenes, right? This is all real. None of that is 3D. We're dealing with real footage. We captured like dust hits. Sam actually shot those targets.
That's huge, by the way. No one ever shows like real gun effects in their films. And in this, like all the bullet hits are real bullet hits. I have a theory for why this might be so photoreal. Did you render this out in passes?
I think we had 2 passes. We had a shadow pass and we had a character pass.
For anyone who doesn't know what a render pass is, inside of a render, all the different elements of this light interaction is being combined together for your final beauty pass. But that beauty pass is actually comprised of a lot of different things, all the reflection off of an object, the refraction, the subsurface, the emission, all these elements calculate together to give you your final image. But if you want to, you can output isolated slices of that image. So you can actually just take the refraction or just the emission, so you can manipulate it in compositing to make it do something completely different.
I might get yelled at by actual working visual effects artists in this industry with what I'm about to say, but I have a running theory that passes for CGI is what's making CGI not look photoreal.
A renderer, at the end of the day, is a light calculator. It's designed to do all the intense math to give you an accurate photoreal representation of what that light would do in your scene. If you start tweaking with those elements, you've broken physics, and it's not going to look right to our eye, which is incredibly well honed at identifying real things because we see it all the time. The reason that we rely so heavily on these passes is just time. Because rendering takes so long, in compositing you can move so much quicker. Yeah. It's like, we got time for a render. These things are humongous, these renders, and it's so much better to just handle it in compositing. But yeah, with the increased flexibility comes the increased temptation to get your little fingers in it. And that's when you start messing it up a little bit.
The real way to do it, you go in the engine, you set up the lighting simulation exactly, you set up your surfaces to be physically accurate.
We took custom HDRIs on set. So we took the HDRIs and then I basically made a chrome sphere where I could see my HDRI through that chrome ball. I would compare that with the footage plate and I would just match the HDRI to the footage. Is my saturation matched? Are my shadows matched? Are my values matched? And then in theory, it would be perfect. And then I just went to town on all of the scratches and everything so that it catches the sunlight really nicely.
The fact that you made it look good in render is what I think really lends itself to the piece being so photoreal, is because you're not, as an artist in compositing, trying to accurately represent something that has hard rules in real life. You use the program that actually applies those hard rules to your geometry, and it did it for you. And then once you got that, your hands off.
I do see what you're saying, Niko, about going too heavy-handed on it just because it's there and you get the note. You don't have the time to do it, don't have time to re-render, so you do it in post real quick.
You know, in this world of AI, there's so much misinformation out there. It's hard to tell what's real and what's fake. Are we totally screwed? Well, no. And that's thanks in part to today's sponsor, Ground News. Ground News helps you navigate the latent spaces of today's AI-infested media landscape with its amazing app and website that brings together news articles from all around the world, letting you compare directly how different sources report on the exact same story. It's perfect for getting a well-rounded view of any news topic. Here's an example with the most 2024 story I could find. Secretaries of State urge Elon Musk to fix AI chatbot from spreading election misinformation on X. That's a real thing, and it's probably not surprising to hear. But Ground News shows me this story's been covered by over 57 sources. For this story, 24% of the coverage leans left, 16% leaning to the right, and 60% center-leaning. You can scroll down and see every article, their political bias, and the credibility of their reporting. And look, it's illustrated in red, white, and blue. God bless America. And other countries that use those colors too. One useful feature of Ground News is the blind spot feature, which is available with their Vantage plan. It highlights stories underreported by one side of the political spectrum. These are stories that you could have missed in your media bubble. In this way, Ground News helps us get diverse perspectives of current events, understand complex issues better, as well as easily identify biases in reporting. It's great for practicing critical thinking and staying up to date on what is going on all around the world. So if you want to get a more comprehensive view of the news, head on over to groundnews.com/corridorcrew to get 40% off a Vantage subscription. Click the link in the description or scan the QR code on screen. Where's he going? We're getting back to React. Niko, we're getting back to React.
My name is Benjamin Button.
Benny B?
Benny Butt.
What do you say?
Benny Butt.
Dude, Benny Butt, bro. That's my boy.
Benjamin Button, in my opinion, is the first film to have a photoreal human face.
So wait, out of context, you would think that this man is a real old man baby.
Out of context, you might think he's wearing a mask, maybe.
Oh, wow. What? That looks so good.
Yeah, that looks perfect. It still holds up. It's flawless.
Oh my God. The beard scruff, I feel like I can cut my hand on his beard.
Yeah, I think I gotta touch it.
And dude, the lighting?
Literally that hand touching the face. Oh, shoot.
What are you kids doing down there?
Okay, he's a kid. I was like, you're touching an old man under the table. No, it's just a kid. It's just a kid, Mom. I swear. I'm just a kid. He goes running out the front door.
So we were just talking about how when you get it all in the render with light simulation, it can look really photoreal. And I think we're seeing that with his old man head here, because it looks amazing.
Looks amazing.
We go later in the film, and they start de-aging Brad Pitt. They're entering the realm of compositing now.
I mean, it's there's a little bit of what?
They got him in shadow, so
Got him
they're
in shadow.
they're trying to hide what may not be working, right?
What do I mean by compositing for de-aging? Well, you film Niko Peringer in real life, and I'm like, wah. And I'm like, all right, make me younger. So you track a 3D model to my head so that you can then get the video data of me, so you can then go into your program like Photoshop to paint out wrinkles and things like that off the video, which you basically turn now into a texture applied to a 3D model. Yeah, this is all the compositing work going in, tracking and removing wrinkles, and not just wrinkles, but removing shadow so as to change the form of the face. So the cheekbones here, they're going to actually make it all brighter because whether or not they actually change dimensionality doesn't matter. It's your eye's cue, a dark spot is giving things volume. So you just track in white splotches onto the face.
Wow.
And you got de-aging.
It is very clever.
How do they keep that consistent?
That's what I'm thinking.
That's pure craftsmanship right there.
Truly.
That's going in and being a true artist. You know, it's the same thing like somebody drawing The Simpsons. How do you draw Homer Simpson the same every frame? It's like by being good at it.
Yeah.
And just doing it.
I think this is a great example. It's almost like Bosstown, where like they filmed everything for real, very specifically set it up to sell the one thing right in the middle and focusing just on that.
David Fincher.
Speaking of photorealism, House of the Dragon.
Whoa, that guy looks crazy.
He's about to look crazier.
Nice.
Oh man,
That looks great, the lighting.
you could see like the fuel in the blue portion of the flame there.
This is so well integrated.
Oh, look at the
And just
firelight.
like really good choices of shots that don't like break your tools.
Yeah, they don't break the tools and they really help sell the scale because a lot of these shots are from the ground looking up at this massive beast.
Yeah.
It's interesting because the director said, I mean, and I don't believe this for a second, he said all the fire is real.
When you see this episode, it is not CGI fire that you are seeing. It is real fire.
And I'm like, first of all, this is more of that BS that we have to deal with.
No CGI in the jets. I'm saying right now, no CGI in the jets.
All of that stuff is in camera. You know, none of that is CGI. The CGI is like the crowd.
The fire visual effects look amazing, but they did use a lot of practical photography of fires. They built a flamethrower for, I guess, some shots or elements of its like fire breath. So, Niko, as our resident pyromaniac, there is a shot a little bit later that I want you to look at that isn't working quite as well.
So first off, fire doesn't work like this. I'm tired of seeing pre-disturbed bulbous fluid. That's not at all how this happens.
Would it look like a fire hose but scaled up, where it's just like blasting?
Yeah, or just the way the fire is working at the end of this fire blast shouldn't be these pre-contained soft pockets of bumpiness. It should be speed, it should be motion blur. Like, where is the movement coming from here? And then secondly, here, it's all dark. That thing, it's a bright wall of fire.
Yeah.
There's no light coming from it. I get it, it's a TV show, I get it. But this is my beef with Hollywood fire. It doesn't move like fire. It doesn't light the scene like fire. Turn up those lights. Just blast those lights. It makes such a huge difference. Just blast the scene with those lights. It looks lovely.
It's tricky.
It's tricky.
And you're like, okay, well, I'll turn up my light bright enough. Hopefully this is bright enough. And then you go back and then it's not. And you're like, well, we gotta add more fake light. And maybe adding the fake light looked really bad. So they're like, let's just not add it.
And a lot of times adding the fake light to make it look good means full 3D reconstruction of your scene. And it's like, it's just not worth it.
Yeah.
Like, I get it. Like, this is better than most films.
This is the rotating shot. I love this shot. And the ponytail goes up, dude.
That's so cool.
And then they studied how birds of prey fight. And they grab each other and enter a death spiral as they spin to Earth. Add fire to that, and you get this. And it's so freaking awesome.
Anyone riding a dragon always looks funny to me.
Dragon tales, it's almost time for dragon tales.
Yeah, I know. It's such a hard problem to solve.
Man, it's tough. It's janky.
It's tough. And this is what is crazy about it. Because all the standalone shots of the dragon itself and all the fire effects look really, 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 really good. The minute that you are trying to integrate a person, an actor, riding one of these things, you have to go so hard in the paint as to how they're being thrown around. And while they did have this thing called the bolt, it's this big, what do you call those rodeo bull things?
The bull?
Yeah.
Those little bulls,
The
yeah.
mechanical bull?
Mechanical, yeah, a big rodeo mechanical bull. And they shot it on a half volume, half blue screen, like this really cool hybrid thing where you're getting the reflections and all that stuff, whatever. And the camera mount system had the same programming as the buck. So the buck was programmed to move around, and the camera that was sometimes on a jib arm, sometimes mounted to the buck itself, was programmed to move identically with it.
The Dune Sandworm scene. I was expecting that level of jankiness, but the way that Denis did that scene, dude, I bought every second of that.
You know, it's filmed like you would be filming somebody riding a sandworm, which is to say every single shot is as if you had to get a film crew there.
He's like lifted off of the ground.
That's the gravity I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And like literally, where is that? Like you're riding a dragon. I'm sorry to keep going on about this. You're riding a dragon. The most we really see is like sliding off to the left or the right. Where's the lift like of the physical actor being like shifted and bounced and lifted off the saddle and stuff?
Like your inner thighs would be like, you'd be like,
I want to see maybe like a strapping device where they're literally strapping their upper body down to it to ground it a little bit more. I don't know.
It's crazy almost like all the visual effects in this just go towards like dust obscuring camera.
Yeah.
It's like all the artistry in this is like, how can I make dust hitting the camera feel violent and intense?
I did think of another parallel back to House of the Dragon, season 1, about dust obscuring the camera.
Yeah.
This is where the dragon attacks. And this one, yeah, this was like probably the worst sequence from the show, I think.
The fact that everybody has directional light on them when they're in a dust cloud,
Yeah.
it just immediately breaks the picture. And this is one of those weird things, it's like, everybody working on this is a professional, right? They're at the top of the game. And yet it's like, but there's directional light on them and they're in a dust cloud.
Man, when you try to wedge real people who were lit on a stage and with no concept as to what the rest of the environment was really going to look like, it's tough to cement those together.
It's impossible.
I'd say it's
It is impossible.
It's impossible. So no shade at all to the visual effects departments.
They got rushed, I get it. Producers gave bad notes, I get it. All right, bonus clip for the website. We're gonna watch a little music video, VFX music video called Mess on a Mission by Liars. Music videos generally get flagged. So this is gonna be a website only thing, corridordigital.com. Plus you get extended React episodes on a whole bunch of other stuff. We also do live podcasts now.
Bye.